Right, today I'm back with Rupert Hawke. Thanks again, Rupert, with our new initiative suggested by somebody who watches the videos. We're going to have some follow-up questions that we've been sent in by people intrigued in your story. So there's four of them, and I'll run down through with the first one. How much of a sample do you analyze before you actually start to put real money down?
Well, I think it's very easy to be fooled by randomness, and so I think one needs to have a reasonable sample before you know whether you are winning consistently. So I before I started doing it really seriously, I was betting for probably 2 years. I mean, I was working full time then, so I wasn't doing it all the time. I was just doing it in my spare time, but I was doing quite a lot of it in my spare time. And I was betting, but it was smaller stakes. So that would really give me an indication. And I'd say about 2 years of doing that at small stakes to ensure that I was winning. But I think the other thing as well, Simon, on that, which is really important, is another measure which goes alongside that sample size, and that's whether you're beating Betfair's starting price on a regular basis. So I was recording my bets and seeing whether I was winning and beating that, because I think I mean, less so with dog racing, but I still feel that the BSP gives you a really good guide. The markets are reasonably efficient, perhaps not as much as say a football match or a horse race, but they are still efficient. And I think if you know you're beating the BSP on a regular basis, then I think you know you're going to be okay. Now the only downside to that is that when you increase your bets later on, then inevitably that your margin will be eroded to an extent, because the fact you just can't get the same amounts on as you would on smaller stakes. But certainly I think a 2-year sample size and data to show that you're beating BSP on a regular basis over that same period of time was sufficient for me to take the plunge.
Okay, well, you've preempted the second question, really, which is how do you know what figures to trust? Is your guide winning or consistently beating the price? So you've answered that, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, I mean, I trust the figures I have, and it's all about value. I think you need to be able to quantify the value. You hear it on the commentators when you watch the racing on television. Oh, that horse or dog, that looks to be a bit of value. But how do you know? How unless you can quantify it with a number, you don't know. So I think to win, you have to be able to quantify the value that you perceive you're getting, and I do that. I think just to expand on that answer for that question, Simon, I think it's all about value, but you have to. I think I find it helps to focus on looking for the winner. So that gives you the kind of focus on a particular race. So I will always, when I do my subjective element at the end, I will always say, right, what dog do I think will win this race? And that may be, I might come up with 2 or 3 dogs I think can win, and I don't think the other 3 have got any chance at all, and or a very small chance. And then those 3 dogs, I will see whether there's value available, and I'll back them accordingly. And then on the flip side of that, of course, any that might potentially be able to be laid, that can happen as well.
Okay. Now this one, without visually studying the running line of the greyhounds to the first bend, how do you go about calculating the percentage of a dog finding trouble?
Yeah, this was, I think I alluded to this before, Simon. This was my sort of biggest challenge, really. because I'm very good at sort of assessing the ability of a greyhound, and I think my numbers are really good for that. But this was the thing that took me a lot while to really not master, because I've mastered it at all, but to get a realistic percentage chance of it happening. So what I do, I compare greyhounds' likely sectional time against the field as a whole, but also its neighbour. So, for example, trap 2, I would compare it against the whole field and trap 1 and trap 3, and I throw that into my algorithm. And then I also look at where the dog's been running, because I remember I just do graded racing, so I look at where the dog's been housed before by the racing manager. So, for example, if a dog's been running out of trap 2 and trap 3 for the last 50 races, and then it's in trap 1, it's unlikely to be a bang railer. So I can build in the fact that it's probably going to run rails to mid or even mid. And the other thing I do is I look at the comments, and I can put those comments into the algorithm as well. For example, if a dog runs rails to mid or mid wide, or it's bang wide, you get the W or the wide or the mid dash W, or those kind of things. I can equate those into numbers, and that gets thrown into the pot, and that gives me an idea. The only other thing there that I think I can't calculate, and where the video people probably have a far better advantage over me, is two things. One is there isn't necessarily a correlation between a sectional time and how quickly the dog gets out of the traps, because you can have a dog that explodes out the trap but doesn't really pace up to the bend, and perhaps gets overtaken. So I can't really equate for that. And the other thing is, if directly out of the traps, whether some dogs have a tendency to step left or right. So if a greyhound in trap 4 has a tendency to step right out of the boxes, and it's half a length quicker out than trap 5, then arguably trap 5 has got a bit of a disadvantage there. And so I can't really equate for that. But having said that, the video guys would know that, and they will, and that will affect the price. It might affect the price by half a point or a point even, and so in effect, okay, I might be back in that trap 5, but the price will look after me, if you see what I mean, because it will be it will be bigger than I would expect it to be. But then, if it does win, I'm getting a slightly bigger return, so I'm kind of being protected, if you see what I mean.
Okay, and finally, what percentage return on investment would be a good number to put one of your formulas into operation? What percentage edge are you looking for? Would it just be a profit, or is there a minimum percentage, for example, 10% before you start using your edge?
No, it can't be a profit, because I have to earn enough money to make it worthwhile. I have to earn a salary, the equivalent of the kind of salary I was earning before, for the outgoings I have, etc. I would say if I can make, I probably hope to make about 7 or 8% on my bets, and that's kind of been proven over the sort of last 2 years that I can do that. Now, you might have 1 month where it's 1% and 1 month when it's 15%, but overall in the long term, I know it's going to be that. So it's really about, as I said before, I think it's about the turnover for me. If I know I'm going to make X, and I know I've got to do Y of turnover to ensure I make enough money. So really, it's about knowing that I'm pretty confident I can make 7%. So therefore, I need to do so much turnover to ensure I get enough income in to make it worthwhile doing.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Rupert. And anybody watching, for any future betting people interviews, if you want to put questions to the interviewees, we'll see if they'll be as kind as Rupert and agree to do it for us. So thank you very much, and nice to talk to you again.
Yes, Simon. Take care.
Thank you.